all know the feeling of hearing a door open when we are doing something we shouldn't. That sudden cold spike in the chest. In an instant, the sound of someone we love, someone whose presence usually brings us peace, becomes a threat. We don't want to be seen. We want to disappear, to shrink into the background, to cover up a mistake, to become invisible before anyone sees the reality of what just happened. In Genesis chapter 3, something fundamental has broken, and we see it most clearly not in what Adam did, but in how he hears. For the first time in human history, the sound of God walking in a garden is terrifying. Adam isn't hiding from fire. He isn't hiding from a storm. He is hiding from a sound he used to love. This verse isn't just about a mistake. It's about a complete relocation of the human heart. Most of us read this moment as a game of hide and seek, but Genesis is about to expose something far deeper. One word in the Hebrew quietly reveals that Adam isn't just hiding from God. He is hiding from the version of himself he no longer recognizes. If we look closely, we might realize we've been living in this same hiding spot our entire lives. I heard the sound of you in the garden and I was afraid, because I was naked and I hid myself. Genesis chapter 3 verse 10 is a scene of raw tension. The narrator has already told us that Adam and Eve ate the fruit. They've already sewn fig leaves together. But now, the silence of the garden is broken by a sound. The Hebrew word for sound here is call. It's the same word used for voice. The text doesn't say Adam heard God's words yet. He heard the call, the rustle of leaves, the footfall, the vibration of God's presence. Before, this sound meant companionship. Now, it sounds like a summons. The original text suggests a rhythm of repetition. God is walking, Adam is hiding. The harmony of the garden has been replaced by a heartbeat of panic. Think of the human heart as a room that was once wide open to the sky. In this verse, Adam slams the door and locks it from the inside. The image Genesis wants us to carry is the locked room. Adam thinks the problem is his nakedness, but the real challenge is the door he just installed between himself and his Creator. But Genesis adds another detail that we often overlook. Adam says, I was afraid because I was naked. Notice the logic. He doesn't say, I was afraid because I ate the fruit. He doesn't mention the tree or the serpent. He points to his condition, not his action. The narrator quietly lets us see that sin has shifted Adam's focus from God's command to his own shame. He is now the center of his own world, and it's a world he can't cover up. Here is a profound irony hidden in the Hebrew here. At the end of chapter 2, we are told they were naked, arumim, and felt no shame. That word means to be bare, entirely uncovered, without defense. In chapter 2, being arumim was safe. It meant being fully known and fully loved. But now, that exact same physical state brings terror. The physical reality is identical, but the relational reality has shattered. Nakedness went from meaning I am safe to I'm in danger. And that brings us to the introduction of a new emotion. Adam says, I was afraid. The Hebrew word is yareh. This is the first time fear appears in the human story. The text doesn't explain what Adam thought God would do to him. It simply lets us notice the tragic shift. The voice that was once the signal for connection is now the trigger for panic. Imagine the silence that follows Adam's confession. He is standing behind a bush, clutching fig leaves, explaining to the Almighty why he is invisible. The tragedy isn't just the nakedness, it's the distance. God didn't move, but Adam did. He doesn't just hide his body, he hides his true self. He builds a wall of fig leaves and distance, hoping to manage what his creator is allowed to see. Why does Adam feel he needs to hide? If God knows everything, who is Adam actually hiding from? Shame creates a strange kind of temporary insanity. We think if we can't see God, He can't see the parts of us that we hate. We move from the curiosity of the Hebrew call to the heavy conviction of the locked room. There is a sadness here that lingers. The very good word now has a yare in it. We feel the wonder of the garden slipping away, replaced by the reflection of our own tendencies to withdraw when we feel exposed by a failure, a sudden flaw, a moment of weakness. We stitch together whatever metaphorical fig leaves we can find, our achievements, our humor, our silence, terrified that if we are seen exactly as we are, we will be rejected. But then something unexpected happens. Even though Adam is hiding, God is still speaking. The dialogue continues. The narrator doesn't tell us why God keeps talking to a man behind a bush, but the fact that he does is the first ripple of hope in a dark chapter. The voice they are hiding from didn't come to the garden to destroy them. The voice came searching for them. I wonder how often we do something similar. We hear a sound, a conviction, a calling, a truth. But instead of stepping out, we explain why we aren't ready. We tell God we are naked, too broken, too messy, too ill-equipped, and we stay in the shadows of our own making. Adam's first words after the fall were an explanation of his fear. He thought the problem was a lack of clothes, but the text shows us the problem was a lack of trust. Genesis wants us to notice that while we are busy trying to hide our nakedness, God is already walking in the garden, asking where we are.